Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I'm your host, John the Bod, aka the Bod Father, and as always, bring you guys awesome interviews. And today it is an honor and privilege to have the vocalist and rhythm guitarist and lead guitarist on the show with me, Rex and Zak Cox. These guys are brothers, and they had their first full-length album called Medusa. It was released on March the 10th, and you want to pick this up. It's a pretty kick-ass album. Also, they will kick off a lengthy U.S. tour alongside Devil Driver, 36 Crazy Fist, and Cane Hill on August the 18th. They are from the band Uncured, and we're going to be talking to those guys. So, guys, how's it going?
Hey, man, we're doing great, and it's good to talk to you. How are you?
Doing awesome. Glad to have y'all on here. So, you guys are brothers. Rex is 17, Zak's 19. How is it working with each other, being so young? And do you guys ever have that spat, then finally work everything out to get everything going? Let's talk about that a little bit.
Well, all right, so I'm Zak. I'm 19, and Rex, he's 17. We left school a while ago to be professional musicians. Ever since we left school over a year ago, we've been working hard every day to be successful and try to reach our goal. Because we have a common goal, there's no time to mess around. There's no time to argue with each other. We just need to focus on what we're doing, and we got to work as hard as we can every day to make sure we always take a step forward to promote our business, to promote our music, and we're going to try to develop this over the next, 40, 50, 60 years or something. So we got to work hard and focus, and we know with dedication that we can be successful. We do a good job of working together in the sense that we kind of have to divide and conquer sometimes in terms of producing things for Uncured. So a lot of times when Zak is doing an edit on a video, Zak is our video maker and our video editor. He does a great job with them. And I do a lot of work on new material. And then at the end, we always come together and talk about, what Zak's doing cuts in the video. And if I'm doing something in a song, we always collaborate on them together. So we have a pretty good process, and we get a lot of work done because of it. What's
impressed you guys the most about making the full-length album Medusa? What's caught your eye about it or impressed you the most about it?
I'm impressed by, we always knew that making an album takes a lot of work. We made an EP over a year ago. But with an album, I guess we were really impressed by, we wanted to release it before our Catatonia tour, so we had to record it within less 2 months about. A month and a half, maybe. So we were impressed by how much work we got done in such a short amount of time because we really wanted to have our new vocals out before we went on tour so we'd have a full-length album to sell. So I guess we're impressed by our how much work we had to do in such a little amount of time and how we were able to focus on what we needed to accomplish. And that being said, I'm impressed as to how good everything came out, considering the amount of time, and it's sonically a great album in my opinion.
Who produced this album, guys, or did you guys do it yourself?
We worked with Mitch Cox, proprietor of Conclave Studios, also happens to be our father, to produce the album. John Kita, our bassist, or currently our bassist, was the engineer at Conclave Studios, so that's how he came to be in the band. Yeah, so we were working with the two of them. Our father was the primary producer and tracking engineer. And a lot of, it wasn't so much structural as it was adding a track here and there, or adding in certain elements to make the songs better. Because prior to even getting into the studio, we had gotten the songs to a point where we had done pre-pros and we were all happy with them. And then once we were in the studio, it was just adding layers, and having somebody who knows how to create a pro record is really what pulled it all together.
Working with your dad on this, plus your guys' bassist as of right now, did one of these guys say, just let you guys go on your own and then step in and push you guys a little bit harder than what you're normally to be pushed at, possibly, to get the best out on this album from you guys?
Yeah, we had written all the material in advance of going into the studio, obviously. I know some bands kind of write in the studio, but our approach was to get all the material dialed prior to that. Then we pre-pro'd it prior to going into the pro studio, right? So we pre-pro'd it at where we live, and then once we were in there, that's when things really got to the 100% level, and that's when the producers really shined, when all the songs needed things to make them better. So I think that when you get the songs to a point structurally that they're sound, before you get into the studio, that's when you really have the time to make the best record possible with all the extra guitar tracks and a couple extra bass tracks. And, you can really work on tones, which we spent a lot of time on, getting the right tones, making everything fit together properly with so many instruments in the songs.
Now, which one of you guys are the vocalists? Is it you, Rex? Is that right, or am I wrong?
Both sing.
So you both sing. Okay.
Rex has, the lower vocal. My voice is a little bit higher than his. So you could, when now you'll be able to, differentiate who is who. But there are times when Rex he does sing a little bit higher, like in the song Myopic. That's all him, but he goes low and high. Yeah, so we have that good contrast between us. I think our two voices complement each other and the music nicely. Yeah, on that point, actually, on some of Zach's parts, I did a very quiet double underneath. I mean, I sang it full volume, but we mixed it in very low beneath him. Mm-hmm. So it makes his voice, it doesn't sound like my voice, it makes his voice sound bigger and deeper. And it, the voices, since they are genetically compatible, they complement each other very well on the record.
So being so young, does that take a toll on your voice at all, or you can't even tell as of right now?
We've been taking professional classical vocal lessons for over a year. So we've learned how to breathe correctly and how to sing correctly in order to not put any stress on our vocal cords. Mm-hmm. So it's we think it's important to always warm up before you do harsh vocals anytime, at least 10 to 15 minutes. In addition to learning how to breathe correctly, there's also to cool down after we sing. So once we singing a full set, usually our sets as just an opening band are usually only 30 minutes. So after singing a full set, we always cool down. Our voices still are fine, so we can still talk to fans and whatnot afterward. But also, we take care of our voices pretty well. We try, we do humidifiers, hot water steamers, things like that, essential oils to make sure our voices don't get injured, because with harsh vocals, it is easy. There's a lot of risk associated with it, but if you take care of yourself in a safe way, you're able to push yourself every night. So that's what we do.
Guys, are there any songs off the full-length album Medusa that are standing out more to you guys than any on it, if possible? And also, are there any songs from the Spontaneous Generation EP that are on this new album from you guys?
As a collective band, we all four of us agree that the best song, or at least I think all four of us agree, that the best song is the second track, Uncured. It's definitely my personal favorite all around. And it just because it encompasses a lot of the things that we set out to accomplish as a band, and it has the best clean sections. It has very dramatic moments. And then our new single, which just came out this week, Stygian Valley, it is Stygian Pit but redone with vocals, and that's the favorite song out of our entire catalog from my perspective, and I think some of the other guys in the band as well. Mm-hmm. And as far as Spontaneous Generation goes, the one that stands out to me would be Viper Pit, because that song had a lot of technical aspects that were very well done, in my opinion. We might even be resurrecting one or two riffs from that song for some new material. I would have to agree with Rex on all points of that. Stygian Valley, as he said, is probably, I think, our all-around best song. And we did write that with the intention of the Devil Driver tour, because and with the thought of getting more radio play, because a 4-minute song with vocals almost all the way through is more radio friendly than a 6-minute song without vocals. So that's why we decided to revamp Stygian Pit to be Stygian Valley. So I think that's probably our best song that will translate very well live. And what I would add to that as well is with Stygian Valley, we had the most time to do vocal layers. So the vocals, apart from the vocals, being better because we're more experienced vocalists now than we were 3 or 4 months ago, but we also had time to do proper layering so that the vocals just truly explode on that song. And you can hear how they just add a whole new layer of brutality with doing doubles and then splits and things that accent the main vocal track properly.
What do you hope the fans take away from the new full length once they start to listen to it, or just Uncured music in general?
In regards to our album Medusa, we want fans just to and a lot more people overall just to start listening to it as much whenever they can, and giving us their comments about it. It is available on Spotify for free streams as well as YouTube. So we want people to listen to our music and just sort of get a sense for the band, to see what we're about. And then, best case scenario, they like it and they come to a show. And we think that at a show, if someone comes to see us that's heard us before, they will most likely become a lifelong fan. And that's what we want to do. We want to make connections with people that want to hear that want to hear our music, and that care about the same things that we care about. And what I would say about the music itself, when they do hear it, I would want them to take away the dichotomy of the heavy parts, which is primarily what the band is about, heaviness and groove. But we also have the technical aspect of the solos, and a lot of the riffs are pretty technical. And then the third aspect is the more melodic, clean, slower sections. So I'd want fans to pick up on that as well from a musical perspective.
What helps you guys keep your mind fresh and open to do lyrics, guitar solos, and just different riffs to not make it stale to your guys' style of music?
We like to start some songs from a theoretical perspective, and at least that's the way I think about some of them. And when you approach something as you want to create something different, yet still have the same feel that your prior work has, and make it a logical progression, I feel that's the best way to maintain and establish a unique sound as a band, but also push the limits of what you're capable of musically. So if you take a theoretical idea as to how you want guitars to interact, how you want the bass to interact with the guitars, if you want to lock in the kick drum with the bass or something like that, just taking finer elements and developing it from there, and not building everything off of riffs, building things off of ideas, building things off of theoretical things like music theory-wise and rhythmically. That helps us to make sure all of our work sounds A, unique, and B, is pushing the boundaries of what we can do. And lyrically, so as you might know, we wrote the lyrics for Stygian Valley most recently, and because we didn't have them at the time of Medusa. So for the lyrics of Medusa, we are pretty happy with them, but when it came to Stygian Valley, we had a very well-defined concept that we took a long time developing, and we had more time to focus on what all the lyrics were saying and all the lyrical implications and different ways you could say things. So lyrically, we sort of chose we made a little scenario. I don't want to spoil the song, but now having something to write about conjures up a lot more images and a lot more brutal lyrics.
What can fans expect at a show from Uncured when they come to see you guys live?
Fans should certainly expect a lot of energy from us. We always come out playing with a lot of gusto to it, I guess. A lot of group headbanging together, a lot of energy. We always try to engage the fans. We're always smiling at each other, smiling at fans. Sometimes there's some shows I remember one in Canada. There wasn't one of those guardrails, so there's fans right up at the front of the stage. So people were fist bumping us the whole time, which was always a great way to get everyone riled up. And then also at the end of the show, people should expect, if they want to, we're always hanging out in the crowd, hanging out by the bar, the merch. We're all over the place, just talking to people. Anyone who comes up to us or wants to start a conversation with us, they could expect to have, I don't know, sometimes we could talk to some fans for 20 minutes. If they might even, no matter who it is, someone has a question, we could go on and on with them. So people could expect to have, in addition to seeing us play, they could have a nice long conversation. Just why not?
Now, let's talk about local support. Do you guys get a lot of local support via your fans and venues and plus radio play, possibly?
Our best and I would say biggest show was our New York City show. So we pulled in a lot of people on that show since that's the band's home location. And so yeah, that I would say we have a much better draw in New York City. So I mean the venue was packed. And as far as radio play goes, we were just on the Jamie Josta podcast this morning. Yeah. So that was pretty awesome to hear him talking about the band, and he played a track. And then I believe that we're going to be on Sirius XM sometime in the upcoming month.
I think maybe in the next few days.
Yeah, sometime soon we'll be on
radio play.
Yeah, on Sirius XM.
That's awesome.
metal.
That's fucking awesome. Congrats, guys. That's pretty cool.
Thank you. We're psyched about it.
What does Uncured bring to the table for music that's not out there as of right now?
I think Uncured's variety and Uncured's unique sound is definitely what differentiates us musically, and I think that the ability to change between feels and different genres makes us appeal to a very wide variety of people. And what we've seen on the Catatonia tour, which is very light, progressive metal act, very proggy as opposed to metal. A lot of the fans very quickly came around and liked the band, even though they weren't expecting to.
What made you guys want to become a musician? What was that spark for each of you?
Well, I can remember back when I was probably about 6, way before we even started playing guitar. I remember I had a radio, and I remember hearing on one of the local metal stations, In Flames' song "Embody the Invisible," and that's just a great heavy song, some great guitar work, great melodies. Then when we started playing guitar, we got I think we saw Opeth live. We saw them play all of Ghost Reveries at Radio City, and then we also saw them in Montclair a few years before that, which was when we were like, oh, wow, these guys are amazing. We want to be the next Opeth. We want to be as successful as these guys. And the only way to do that is with working as hard as you can every day and starting as soon as possible. For me, it was less of an individual experience as much as it was slowly starting to write our own material. And that's what made me get more interested into the other bands. So once I started writing material, we started writing material together. That's what made me, want to start practicing, and then it just grew and grew from there. Because once you learn one thing, move on to the next, and we still study music theory, and things like that can really progress your writing and progress your love for music.
Is there a country or region that has surprised you of the support you guys have gotten with your music, or a show or moment that stands out more to you than any, if possible?
There are 2 places where Uncured was received incredibly well, in my opinion. Like, very, very well. Mexico, online, we've been blowing up in Mexico, and then we were on the Catatonia tour. 3 of our best shows were the 3 shows we played in Texas. Something about metal fans in Texas love big grooves, and they love music, and they love moving to music. So we had 3 great shows in Texas, and those are the 3 that stand out to me by far.
If you could work with any musician, dead or alive, or any band that's broken up that you'd like to see get back together, who would it be, if possible?
I think one of the bands that we're most like that's inspired us a lot is Gojira.
Yeah.
And I've heard that they're friendly guys and great to work with. I think hearing their music and ours, I think we'd be a great fit to work with them, and I think there'd be nothing better and nothing more rewarding and beneficial than to work with those guys. So that is probably one of our long-term goals that hopefully we could accomplish within the next few years. But I would say Gojira.
Nice.
Yeah, Gojira's a band that comes to mind, and another one that comes to mind would be Opeth, obviously. I guess the third one would be Whitechapel, because I love the vocals. Phil's a great vocalist. He's one of my favorite vocalists, just with the ability, just the range. So yeah, I would say Mike Lackerfeld of Opeth and Phil Bosman of Whitechapel are two of the top guys in my opinion.
I don't know if you guys have gotten this at all, but since you guys have been so young, has any fan or anyone reached out to you to say, hey, look, your music has inspired me to become a musician or start to play music, or it's pulled me through a bad experience, or it's gave me inspiration to overcome obstacles, or it's even got me away from the everyday bullshit that we go through by listening to your music? What's it mean to you guys, if you get that?
We have received quite a number of messengers on Facebook and even some to our band email address where people are thanking us for what we're doing. Like either they're not having a good day, or they're going through some rough times, and they were thanking us for helping them get through it. I could think of a few people in particular that I frequently respond with on Facebook, just because I'm friendly with everyone, and anyone who is said something that we helped them through a hard time, that really makes us feel good. I'm always more than happy to talk to that person to see what they're up to and just have a normal conversation as if we're just two friends that have known each other for a long time.
Yeah, sure.
And as far as the young comment goes, I mean, for younger people that have reached out to us is what I mean. I've spoken with a number of younger people that say, wow, this song is great, and I really want to be able to play that, things like that. That to me is a great compliment because people are looking up to what we do, which is very inspiring.
Folks, Uncured's new album is out right now. It's called Medusa. It's their first full length. You can catch them out on tour August the 18th. That's going to be a lengthy tour alongside Devil Driver, which Devil Driver is fucking amazing. 36 Crazy Fists as well, and Cane Hill. Guys, how can folks stay in touch with you, buy some merchandise, tour dates? How can they do that?
All right, so first, our email address is uncuredband@gmail.com. We respond to everything that comes to that, as well as our Facebook page is at Uncured Band. We will respond to every messenger. And as well as if you want to message Rex or I, my name is Zak Cox, his name is Rex Cox. We're on Facebook. We respond to all messengers that we get. We always try to interact with it, answer any questions. And as far as merchandise goes, we have a website, www.uncuredband.com, where you can see tour dates, live videos, and our shop. So those are all the ways that you can get in touch with us. We always do our best to get to everything that we get.
You guys have complete support from BODS Mayhem Hour and Uber City Radio. I wish you guys the best of luck. And before I let you guys go, would one of you guys care to do a promo for the show or both?
Oh, we'd love to, yeah. Hi, I'm Zak Cox. And I'm Rex Cox. And we are from the band Uncured. And you are listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Everybody stick around. We got some great music coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour and Uber City Radio. Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much.